Live from our new studios in downtown North Platte, NBC Nebraska News 2 at 6 starts
All of a sudden,
now.
I heard this big bang.
It's a storm that produced winds 50 to 70 miles an hour.
I've lived here for 25 years and I've not seen that much tree damage.
Trees and power lines down throughout the city, and some still without power.
And getting by in the Stone Age here without electricity is something you really take for granted.
But today, the city of North Platte is cleaning up.
Tree branches are over there. That tree we didn't notice last night fell down.
Tonight, we have reporters out in the field keeping you informed on what's next for North Platte.
It's our top story on NBC Nebraska News 2 at 6. Good evening, I'm Kent Winder.
And I'm Megan Bragg. We have team coverage tonight on the storm that hit North Platte around 8:30 p.m. Thursday.
Many parts of the city went dark and some still are without power. We start you off tonight on the northwest side of town where some are still picking up the pieces. Ethan Harrington is live there now. Ethan?
Megan and Kent, driving around North Platte today, you'd be hard-pressed not to find something like this. A massive tree branch or debris all over town. Now, this particular tree branch, I'm told by a private lawn service, 35 feet tall, can weigh up to 2,000 pounds. As you can see to my right, there's a lot of debris that's spilled over on the roadway. Again, you'll see a lot of this all over town. We've seen tree branches this size on people's rooftops, and also that came clambering down on power lines. Now, the city is out working to cut down on these branches and get things looking a little bit like normal again. But if you do have debris in your lawn or branches like this, you can take the limbs to the city landfill or to the southeast corner lot of Walker Road and Buffalo Bill Avenue free of charge due to storm damage, and that will remain in effect until Saturday, August 22nd. Megan, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Ethan. Last night, damage took a toll on many homes throughout the city, but businesses are also cleaning up, and one that was hit hard was the Depot. We continue our team coverage with the reporter, Beatrice Reyna. She is there live, and Beatrice, they actually had to open up a little later today, correct?
That's right, Megan. The Depot had to delay lunch for about 4 hours this morning because the damage was so significant, but the one area that received the most damage was the roof. Everything was going fine here last night. It's what staff tell me. About 8:30 this morning, they said the clouds started to roll in and suddenly they heard a big boom. And besides damage to the roof and the AC unit, the kitchen did receive some water damage as well. And Kent and Megan, even though staff say they did have to delay lunch today, they are just fortunate that nobody was hurt. Reporting in North Platte, Beatrice Reyna,
right,
back
thank you
to
so
you.
much. Thank you so much, Beatrice. After a rough night last night, it was much quieter today. Hot but quiet.
Right now, will it stay quiet tonight? Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins joins us from the Weather Center. Rusty?
It's always nice to have 12 to 24 hours of cleanup time after something like we had last night. And here's the storm reports. Notice the line. It's almost directly north to south. And there were about 18 total reports of hail, wind gusts, and wind damage. So not a lot. But what reports there were rather significant. And goodness, when you're out of power for a good portion of a 24-hour period, it's hard on people. 24-hour precipitation, not a whole lot, but these storms move through rather quickly. Over an inch in Thedford, 3/4 of an inch in North Platte. Now, very quiet. Wall-to-wall sunshine. There is just not a cloud in the sky. Temperatures rather mild, middle and upper 80s to around 90 degrees. Still 98 in Shatter in the hot spot once again. The wind is out of the south and southeast at 5 to 15, clear and quiet through midnight. 63, a mild start for the day tomorrow. Warming up again, 93 by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. More storms, though, are in the forecast as we head through the weekend. We'll talk more on that in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Rusty. And here is a recap on the numbers we're getting on the power outage. Over the night, Municipal Light and Water took over 400 calls of reported power outages. The main areas affected in North Platte were the north and southwest parts of town. They roughly estimate 10,000 people were affected by the storm. Cindy Huntsman with Municipal Light and Water says she has 200 to 500 reports of down lines, and those are just the lines reported. She tells us people are still without power today, mostly on the southwest part of town. Now, they are still unsure when that power will get back on. We will be following this story and keeping you updated as more information becomes available. And many of you tell us that you called Municipal Light and Water last night but got no answer.
That's right. Now, that's because Municipal Light and Water also fell victim to the storm, which is why some people had trouble getting through on their phones to report power outages. Nearly all of North Platte was in the dark. The city says utility crews were battling down power lines and trees that fell into power lines, causing the power to go out. Some areas of the city had power all night.
So we do apologize for that, but it is our understanding that people, when they started calling in, had some problems getting through. And again, what happened there is our backup generator, which is set up to come on as soon as we lose power, did not do that last night.
Hawk says the hope is to have power on to all customers by Friday night. A shelter is open at the Salvation Army for people who are still without power. They will provide a hot meal. Well, sparking down power poles also had the North Platte Fire Department busy. They started accepting calls for help last night around 8 and didn't stop until this morning.
They were up all night handling problems from fallen trees to medical trips. Continuing our team coverage, Travis Robinson spoke with firefighters that were on the scene last night.
During Thursday night's storm, the fire department in North Platte went to over 60 calls. The calls began around 8:30 and kept coming until 8:30 Friday morning.
We're still doing reports right now and trying to figure out how many runs we actually had.
The department had so much to handle, they called in all available off-duty and volunteer firefighters.
Storms like that, we try to get as much information as we can. Last night was pretty hectic because we had so many responses all at the same time.
The department says no buildings caught fire during Thursday's storm.
It was power lines down, trees down, and then of course we had a lot of medical calls in there. When the power goes out, then people's oxygen machines and stuff like that quit working.
It wasn't the storm damage or the fallen trees that caused firefighters the most problems. It was bystanders.
My suggestion during the next storm is, I know people want to be out looking at the damage, but it would be a lot better for us in our response if they would just stay home and out of the way. I know last night we had a lot of traffic out, causing a lot of problems for us getting around town.
Staying off the road doesn't just help first responders, it also protects you.
And the amount of water we had on the streets, a lot of that stuff wasn't visible, and we had people driving over power lines. So I would suggest that they stay home and out of the way until we're all done with our responses.
The fire department is done handling the storm-related calls, and now it's up to road crews to pick up the pieces. In North Platte, Travis Robinson, NBC Nebraska News 2.
Thanks, Travis. And to make a plan for the next storm, you can head to our web channel, knopnews2.com, for more information on how to prepare for these storms.
And if you have tree branches or limbs in your yard from the storm, you can take them to the landfill or on the southeast corner lot of Walker Road and Buffalo Bill Avenue. You can do so free of charge. The city says you can dispose of tree branches until Saturday, free of charge.
Now, we received tons of pictures and video from you last night. We wanted to share this video from Dan Ridgway from North Platte. This is near D Street on Sycamore and Willow, and it looks like a transformer blew up.
Now, that's amazing video right there. And we also had many of you commenting on our Facebook page as well. Gladys says, what a storm that was.
And Tammy says, saw a number of pictures where trampolines didn't fare so well last night. And to join the conversation, download our news app. You can watch live streaming of our newscast and check out more storm damages. And Megan, we sure saw a lot of those pictures and a lot of storm damage around town.
And here in our studio, we didn't get power until 7:30 this morning. So very hectic night, a lot of calls going out, a lot of damage throughout the city.
Incredible storm. Coming up next, the North Platte Cemetery is in disarray after the storm with 15 trees uprooted.
We'll take a look at the damage after the break. That's next on NBC Nebraska News 2.
Tonight's first forecast brought to you by First National Bank, the bank